Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hakureja Rave and I'm here with my recap and review of Animal Kingdom Season number 6, Episode number 11, which is titled Hit and Run. And full disclaimer, I was provided with a free advanced screener of this episode for review for free. This is not a sponsored or paid video of that kind, and yeah, the opinions that I share in this video are my own. So this episode is basically, with only 2 more episodes left, you can actually see that the writers are really focusing on making the Codys figure out how to get Andrew out of jail. So that's the focus that we'll be getting, and I think that episode number 11, that thing got a lot of focus, and I think that the upcoming 2 episodes are going to be the same. So this episode, it opens up with a flashback, and yeah, the show ended up getting actor Scott Speedman back to pick up his character. Baz is back. At first I was like, wait, are these scenes from the previous seasons? Are they reusing the footage? But no, it's actually real. They brought Baz back, and Baz is like, Andrew, wake up. We have to go. And Andrew's like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom first. I need to freshen up. I need to take a bath. And Baz is like, come on, Andrew, we need to go and we need to steal from a bank. And okay, I get that this was a flashback, but the actors looked older. They looked way older, which, I mean, you can't really... I highly doubt that Animal Kingdom had the budget to de-age the actors. So we cut to Greg, and he's talking to this woman at this shop, and he's sending money to Singapore, and we find out that, Greg is planning to run away to Singapore with Ren and Nick, and that's why he's been sending money there, and he can't send a lot. I think it's like, $2,500 per transfer, and that's what he's doing under a fake identity. And then we get another flashback. Yeah, lots of flashback in this episode. So this flashback dealt with Julia and Janine. And Julia hands the money to her mom, and she's like, yeah, we didn't sell a lot of spools and whatnot. So this is the money. She hands over the envelope, and I'm like, really, Julia, really? You're stealing from Smurf? Like, think, girl, think. But anyway, Smurf is like, thank you, baby, and she ends up giving a gift to her daughter, which is basically a kimono, and I guess Smurf wants Julia to start dressing up like her in kimonos around the house. And yeah, Julia is like, it's not my style, and Janine is like, yeah, your style is like what? Ripped jeans and plaid? Like, wear this kimono around the house, you like it. And Julia is like, okay, I'll do that. And again, Smurf thanks her, and yeah, she goes, and then Julia decides to go to her room, and she hides the money that she stole from Smurf, and I'm like, come on, Julia, be smart about this. And then we cut to Joshua and Penny, and they are continuing to hook up because Penny decided to take Joshua's offer, and she's staying at one of his apartments now, and no one knows that she's cheating on him, and yeah, I guess he's sad, he's hurt, and we don't necessarily... Yeah, where's Penny's sister? Has she forgotten about her? But anyway, this is where Joshua is like, Penny, I need you to be with me. I like you. I need you around me. And I'm like, where is this going? I really hope that the writers have some sort of plan when it comes to Joshua's relationship with Penny, because it feels like a distraction. It feels weird. I have no idea why Joshua is even interested in Penny, like in this way, because he wants her to stay with him in the house. He wants to buy her furniture and everything. And I'm like, really, Joshua? Really? So we cut to Deran, and he decided to reach out to his dad, and yeah, Billy's back, and I'm like, hey, Billy. So it turns out that Billy has been trying to remain sober. He still smokes weed though, so there's that. So Billy's like, okay, Deran, I know that you didn't call me here to catch up, so do you have a job for me? What do you need? And this is where Deran asks Billy whether or not he knows about what he knows about the prison that Andrew's in, and if he has a contact in that prison and whatnot. And Billy is like, yeah, I have a contact in there. I think I can get you schematics and everything. What is this about? And Deran is like, you know what? I'm not going to give you a lot of info. And he doesn't tell Billy that Andrew's in jail for murder. He doesn't tell him that. He also doesn't tell Billy that they plan to break Andrew out. But anyway, Billy wants to help his son because they finally reconnected again. And of course, Billy is going to do that. And Deran is willing to pay him $5,000 for that. So we cut to Andrew going to Julia's room, and she's very happy because she has all of these applications and forms from different colleges. They want her to apply because apparently one of the counselors ended up sending her SAT scores there. And Andrew's like, okay, so it must be nice being smart. And Julia's like, don't be like that, Andrew. You're smart too. You're smart too. And Andrew's like, well, at least I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't be stealing from Smurf. And I'm like, when Andrew tells you that something is a bad plan, you listen. Come on now, Julia, you need to listen to your twin brother. But Julia is like, well, I can't help it, Andrew. I'm stealing from Smurf, and if Smurf gets angry at me from stealing from her, that's rich. Also, I'm saving up because yeah, I'm looking at my future. I just can't remain here under Smurf's thumb. I need to escape. What about you, Andrew? What are you going to do? And Andrew is like, well, I haven't figured that out yet. And I'm like, well, I guess Julia's trying to plan something, but we all know that whatever is going to happen to her life, it's going to be very different from what she initially planned. So we cut to Greg and Joshua, and they're talking to this real estate agent because they are planning to sell Baz's property. And yeah, she's like, you know what? I can give you a very, very quick cash deal because the person that I'm working for, he is looking for property because he'll be putting up condos here. But there is a catch. She does say that according to California law, they have to disclose whether or not there was a debt on the property. And Joshua is like, really? Even Greg is like, really? We have to do that? And yeah, she's like, yep, you need to do that. And so she asks them, and of course Joshua lies. Joshua is like, yeah, there is no debt on the property. And I'm like, really, Joshua? Really? So again, we cut to the flashback featuring Andrew and Baz, and before they go in to rob from the bank, this is where these two have a conversation because Baz mentions Cat. So it turns out that Andrew has been leaving flowers for Cat, and Baz doesn't like that, and he's like, Andrew, that's creepy, okay? Catherine is my girlfriend. She's the mother of my child. It's creepy that she's getting flowers from you, basically my brother, so don't do that. And this is where Andrew's like, hey, I'm not being a weirdo. It's just that I like Cat and I want her to be treated nicely. And Baz is like, yeah, treated nicely by me, Andrew, not you. Billy pays Deran a visit, and yeah, this is where he's like, I got my contact. He can give you the scheduling, the blueprints, and everything. And he's like, but Deran, what is this about? What are you guys planning? And yeah, this is where Deran ends up telling Billy that they are planning to break Andrew out of prison. And he's like, what? You're planning to do what? Understandably, Billy isn't on board with such a plan. He's like, really? You're going to put yourself in danger? Why are you even doing this? If Andrew is in jail, that's basically something good for humanity. Just focus on yourself and everything. And he's like, and if you end up breaking him out, you'll need to run away. You'll need to leave the country and never return. And Deran's like, yep, that's the plan. Joshua is handling everything. Greg will be going. All of us will be going. We are selling everything that we have here, and Billy isn't Billy isn't into it. So we got to Joshua and Greg, and they're going over the fake passports. And yeah, this is where Greg ends up telling Joshua about how he plans to move to Singapore with Ren and Nick. And he ends up asking about what Joshua plans to do. And Joshua's like, yeah, I'm still thinking about it. And yeah, Greg ends up asking Joshua about the girl that he's seeing, Penny. And he's like, yeah, it's complicated, but I'm figuring it out. And then I'm like, yeah, Joshua clearly doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave because he ended up putting in a lot of effort to set everything up for himself and his uncles, especially after Smurf died. And now because of Andrew's mistake or what Smurf made Andrew do, he'll be losing everything. And then we get a scene where Greg talks about how he ended up making Deran jump from the roof right into the pool, and he talks about how he has so many memories in this house and that he's sad that he'll be leaving all of them. And Joshua's like, yeah, memories. And I'm like, really, Greg, really? Read the room. Joshua didn't grow up here. So Billy ends up asking Deran about the bar and what he plans to do with the bar, and that, it's the next day. My bad. I think, it's the next day. And Billy is staying at the bar, and he gives Deran certain recommendations about how he can make the bar better. And yeah, Deran is like, you know what, Billy, I don't have time for it. I have to go. And Billy is like, let me run the bar. And also, this is where again he talks about what Deran plans to do after breaking Andrew out of jail, and that Joshua is handling everything, and I guess they'll be getting a lot of money. But again, it's all on Joshua. It's all on Joshua because Deran trusts Joshua. And yeah, this is where Billy is like, no, 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 no. What are you saying? That you trust Joshua? There's no need for you to trust Joshua. And then he also tells Deran that he shouldn't be feeling sorry about the situation that Andrew found himself in. It's just that Smurf did a number on the boys, and whatever Andrew did, it's basically not his fault, but it's also not Deran's fault, and Deran shouldn't be ruining his own life in order to protect Andrew. And also, as the conversation continues, Billy also warns Deran about Joshua that, you know what, yes, you can give some of the money. Yeah, as far as Billy is concerned, he's like, you know what, let Andrew stay in jail. You can give some of the money to Greg, but don't give a dime to Joshua. That kid deserves nothing. And I'm like, you know what, I'm with Billy here. I'm with Billy. I really think that Joshua is going to try and pull something on his uncles. So we get a flashback, and Julia, for some reason, decides to drop by Baz's house with Greg and Deran because I guess Greg wants to use the bathroom. And she knocks at the door. Baz doesn't answer. They go back. They go into the house from the back door, and this is where Julia notices that Baz is having sex with another girl. And of course, she's upset. And Baz is like, "Hey, Julia, grow up. It's not like we had something exclusive going on, right?" And Julia ends up punching Baz once. She punches him again, and yeah, after the second punch, this is where Baz is like, you know what, Julia, that's the last punch that I'll allow, okay? So basically he threatens Julia. Julia is like, okay, so you're going to hit me, huh, Baz? You're going to hit me? And I'm like, Julia, don't push him. He might hit you. And this is where Julia also tells Baz that, yeah, like father, like son. And I'm like, ooh, Julia, that's low. And she storms out of the house with Deran and Greg. And again, the other flashback, and this is where Andrew tells Baz that, you know what, Baz, I'm not a weirdo, okay? I'm not a weirdo. I just want Kat to be treated nicely. I want her to be treated kindly. She deserves flowers and everything. And then Baz is like, Andrew, you had a chance with her. You ruined it. She's mine now. Deal with it. And I'm like, Andrew, yeah, you really need to deal with this. But of course he didn't, as we saw in the upcoming over the past couple of seasons. So yeah, the robbery, of course, it doesn't work out well. It's bad. Basically, Baz got injured. He tripped. So Andrew took the car down, and Baz is in the car. He's waiting for Andrew. The police is coming, and Baz can't really stay here longer. So yeah, he just leaves Andrew there, and we get an entire sequence where Andrew is trying to run away from the police and everything. And I'm like, the police doesn't know your face, Andrew. They don't know your face. So why can't you just go and try and hide in a house or something? But he keeps on running. He's even running on the street, and I'm like, really, Andrew, when the police is after you, you shouldn't be running in the street. Don't do that. But yeah, he ultimately gets caught while Baz heads home. So basically, through the flashbacks, we finally got to see what led to Andrew being arrested initially, way back in season number 1 and everything. So Julia comes back home. She's very upset, and Andrew tries to comfort her. And Julia's like, hey, you are a very good girl. You're my sister. I know that. And you're a kind girl. You deserve to be loved by someone who will give you flowers, who will make you feel happy. And the moment Andrew mentioned flowers, I was like, oh no, where is this going? And of course it went there. Because Andrew decided to kiss Julia. And Julia's like, what the heck, Andrew? I'm your sister. You're my brother. And this is where Andrew ends up crying. He's like, yeah, I know. Something is wrong with me, Julia. Something is wrong with me. And I don't know about you guys, but the young actor who's playing young Andrew, he is killing it in this role. Like, he's definitely the highlight when it comes to the flashbacks. Like, awesome role, awesome job. And yeah, this is where the writers actually really went there. They really ended up showing Andrew kissing his sister, which, So Joshua is talking to Darren and Greg about how they'll be handling the money, and that they need to make a better plan when it comes to how they'll be breaking Andrew out of jail. So it turns out that according to Joshua, and from what I can remember, when they sell all of the properties, liquidate their assets and everything, they're going to get like what, something around 4 or 3 million, and after it's divided, then each one of them is going to get 1.5 million US dollars, which is a lot of money. And Joshua will be handling all of the transfers. He'll be transferring the amount to his uncle's accounts. And I'm like, for some reason I don't trust that. For some reason I don't trust Joshua saying that. And then the topic goes towards Andrew, what Andrew will be doing. And this is where Darren is like, Andrew will come with me. I'll take care of Andrew. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet, Darren. And Greg is like, yeah, I'm okay with it. So Joshua will be sending Andrew's share to Darren's account as well. And this is where both the uncles are like, they thank Joshua because he set everything up for them, but now they need to leave everything for Andrew. And Joshua's like, yeah, I get it. It's for Andrew, right? It's for Andrew. He would do the same for us. And the expression that Joshua has in this on his face during this scene, and I'm like, I don't trust this kid. I do not trust this kid. So Julia's upset, and Janine walks in because she's like making this. I guess she's preparing dinner, and yeah, Janine knows about what Baz was doing because Greg told her, and she comforts her daughter, and Julia's like, okay, just say it to my face that I told you so. I told you so. And Janine is like, I'm not here to say that, little girl, my beautiful little girl, because there are some lessons that you have to learn the hard way. And she ends up hugging Julia, and she's like, you'll be listening to your mom now, right? You'll listen to your mom. And Julia doesn't answer, and I'm like, Julia, stop stealing from Smurf. Stop stealing from Smurf. Come on now. So Darren and Billy are again talking at the bar, and yeah, Billy is doing a good job handling the bar. And Darren asks Billy to his office, and he hands the $5,000 to Billy, and he's like, Billy, I need your contact. And Billy's like, no. He's my contact. I'll talk to him. And then Darren ends up giving another $5,000 to Billy, and he's like, I really need the contact, Billy. I really need it. And yeah, Billy ends up giving the contact to Darren because he realizes that Darren will be taking a no for an answer. And again, Billy is like, Darren, you don't need to do this, okay? You don't need to go and try and rescue your psychopath brother and ruin your own life. You don't need to do this. But again, Billy realizes that that's what Darren and the rest of the Codys are going to do. And Billy's like, I'll see you, Darren. I'll see you around. And Darren's like, yeah, sure. And also during their conversation, Darren tells Billy that he might end up going to Indonesia because he knows someone there, even though that person won't be interested in meeting him. And I'm like, yep, he's going to go back. He's going to try and get back with Adrian. Like, really, with only 2 more episodes left, I really hope that Darren survives, and I really hope that we actually get to see him reunite with Adrian on screen. The same way they brought Baz back, I really want them to bring the actor who plays Adrian back. Like, we deserve this, Animal Kingdom writers. We deserve this. We have been watching this show for so long now. So we got to Greg and Joshua sharing another scene with at the pool, and this is where Greg is like, Joshua, you do realize that I had nothing against your mom, right? I was so young when she left the house and everything, and after that I guess I only met her once or twice. And he's like, and when you came, you didn't like me. And Joshua's like, well, you didn't like me either, and you also tried to drown me and everything. So basically, Greg is basically saying thank you to Joshua for handling the family after Smurf died. And Joshua's like, yeah, sure. Again, I do not trust Joshua. So we cut to Andrew in a cell, and he's still hallucinating about Baz. And he's like, Baz, why are you even here? And Baz is like, well, it's possibly because of the medications that they're giving you. And this is where Baz is like, Andrew, why are you here? Why are you still in the cell? And Andrew's like, it's because I deserve this. It's because I murdered Kat, even though I loved her. I murdered her. I've sinned. I've done so many wrong things. And Baz is like, this is where I'm going to stop you, okay? You don't deserve any of this. It was Smurf who made you do this, and Smurf's dead now. And Smurf's the one who killed Kat. Smurf's the one who killed me. And Smurf's the one who killed Julia, even though it took longer for Julia to die. But Smurf's the one who killed her. Andrew, it wasn't you. You don't deserve none of this. You don't deserve any of this punishment. and you have already paid for your sins. Basically, you already spent a lot of your life in jail. You don't have to do, you don't have to do a repeat of this. Don't do this, Andrew. So basically, Andrew's own hallucination of Baz, he's basically talking to himself, and he's coming to the realization that, you know what, things can be better. He's going to try and make things better. So the episode closes with Andrew asking for the officer to give him his call. And yeah, I'm like, okay, so what is Andrew going to say next? He'll already confess to Kat's murder. I highly doubt that he'll snitch on his family, but let's see. Well, let's see what he decided, because yeah, I guess that Andrew isn't looking forward to spending the rest of his life in jail and basically be murdered by someone. So it will be very interesting to see what he decides to do while his brothers try to break him out. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And if I end up doing a written review just for the Geek Kitty, the link to my review will be down in the comment section below, of course. And yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.